Hi, thanks for coming back to Horn and Fin Outdoors, and welcome to my review of my 2021 CF Moto Uforce 800. Hopefully gives you some valuable information on a fun buggy that I've been having a blast with. So come along and let's take a closer look at it. So as I said, this is a 2021 model. It's the Uforce 800 by CF Moto. I've never owned a side-by-side before. I have owned a four-wheeler in the past, but that was a Polaris quad that was pretty old. So I never bought anything new. I started researching side-by-sides to figure out what I wanted to get, and I started with Polaris. I also checked out the ones that Bass Pro Shops has, and I checked out Bobcats and a couple other ones, but the biggest problem I had was this was coming off of COVID and nobody had any stock. I could not find them anywhere. In fact, the Polaris dealer told me that they were getting them in, but they were selling them before they even arrived. And since they had so many different models and I didn't get a chance to look at any of them, I kind of shied away from them. So I found these CF Motos. I'd never heard of them before, but the dealership near me in Connecticut had them in stock. So I went to take a look. Now, they are a Chinese-made brand, which some people like, some people don't like. Personally, I don't care. They are about $1,200 to $1,500 cheaper than most of the other side-by-sides in this same motor class. And since I was able to actually get it, I decided to go with this side-by-side. And so far, I've been happy with it. It has been pretty durable, pretty rugged. It goes fast. It's fun to drive. And I'm going to tell you about some things that I like, some things that I don't like, and also a couple of little extras that I did to it. So let's start off with the basics. It's a Uforce 800. That's all I'm going to tell you about the motor, the drivetrain, other than it's four-wheel drive, the brakes, all that stuff you can look up on their website if you want to. It's really easy to find that information. So I'm just going to tell you the nitty-gritty as a user that doesn't know much about side-by-sides and engines and things like that in the first place. I'm going to tell you what I think about it from my perspective as a consumer. As you can see, this is a mid-size side-by-side. It's a two-seater. It has two doors, two-seater, and the bed is a little on the smaller side. The reason why I chose this side-by-side is so that it would fit on a regular 5x10 trailer, I think is what I have, or a 5.5x10 trailer. They make bigger ones and make smaller ones. In fact, CF Moto makes a 1000 size and also a 500 size. However, I think the bodies on them are still the same size. But for what I'm using this for, it's the perfect size. I bought this so I can do some work on my property that I just purchased to help me lug things around while I'm building the cabin I'm going to build. Also for hunting up here, the property is really sloped, so I need something to get back up the hill again once I walk down. And also taking deer out of the woods. I've been able to load deer in the back of this and get them out of the woods. I have had it for about a year. I've put almost 200 miles on it now. I'm getting ready to take it in this week for my first oil change and a little bit of service just to make sure everything's good. I have had zero issues with it, other than something new just started popping up, and fortunately I'm able to fix it myself. Under the hood there is a little cover, and in that cover are some relays, and one of those relays controls the starter. And what I found was I would turn the key to turn it on and nothing would happen. It had electricity, it had a good battery charge, but it wouldn't turn over. And all I did was tap the top of that relay and it would fire up. I have not looked into getting that fixed yet because I've been able to kind of fix it while I'm in the woods. But that's the only problem mechanically that I've had with this thing in the 200 miles that I've put on it so far. So let's talk about a little bit about what I like and what I don't like about this side-by-side. I'll tell you this, that the things that I don't like do not outweigh what I like about it. So if I had the chance to do it again, I would probably buy this side-by-side all over again. Number one, what I liked about it was the price. Like I said, it was about $1,200 to $1,500 cheaper than every other side-by-side this size. It also came with the winch mounted on it, and some of the other side-by-sides did not have the winch. I was able to get a roof for it, optional, which I opted for. I also got a windshield put on it, and the windshield is so easy to take on and off, which is kind of nice. So I got the windshield with it. The dump body is easy to use. It's a piston underneath there, so you just pop the lever and the bed dumps. The winch is invaluable. I've already used it, I think, 3 times this weekend to get me out of jams, because I tend to take it where I probably shouldn't. But the winch is great. The rack on the back behind the driver and passenger seat, I was able to attach some pouches to, some MOLLE pouches. So inside those pouches, I'm able to store toe straps, snatch block, tire patch kit. I've got a knife on there, a multi-tool, a couple other things. Inside the side-by-side, there are a couple storage compartments. One is under the hood, and in that little storage compartment, I was able to put some tool pouches and some wrenches and other items like that. And underneath the driver's seat, there is another storage compartment that's the same kind of thing, but it's a little bit bigger. I don't have anything in that storage compartment yet because I just found it. I didn't even know it was there. So I will be putting some items in there. It has a 2-inch receiver on the back, which is perfect because I have a little 5x8 utility trailer that I want to use to tow with this thing. I have not used it yet, but I've used it to tow a bigger trailer I have, which worked out perfect. Let's talk about how it functions. It operates great. It is pretty fast. I've had it up to, I think, 55 miles an hour, 54 miles an hour on the road. In the woods, it's got more than enough power for what I need to be coming up and down the hill where I am staying out here. It's got more power than I've used so far with a payload, with people in the back, towing stuff. It's had pretty much all the engine that I need, and they do make, like I said, a bigger engine and a smaller engine, but I got the mid-size. The only things that I've changed in this side-by-side since I bought it, I put some lights on the top and the front to give me a little bit of better light at night. They are regular off-road lights. I put a switch or 2 switches in the cockpit area, and the switches have, you flip them up, the white light comes on, you flip them down the other way, and it's a yellow light that comes on. Other than that, that's all I've done to it, and those are the things that I like about it. Now, let's talk about the things that you may want to be concerned with that I didn't know about until I purchased this, or things I didn't pay attention to. Number 1, it's only a 2-seater. It does not have a bench seat in the front. So there's 2 bucket seats with a center console in the middle. Unfortunately, I realize now that if I had that extra seat, it would probably be a little bit better for room in the front and also throwing another person in. So that's number 1. Number 2, the engine is mounted between the 2 seats in that center console. So when I'm driving, especially with the windshield on, it gets really hot in that center console in the cockpit. So in the summertime, it does get warm in there, and the cup holders are right in the center console. So if you have a cold drink there, it heats that drink up. Now, the flip side to that is in the winter, when I'm driving it, it's nice and warm in there, and I can put a warm beverage in there and it will warm it up. So those are a couple of things that when I got it, I didn't think about. The other thing that is a little annoying about the buggy is when you first start it up and you start driving, it tends to buck a little bit. And after talking with the guy where I'm bringing it in for service soon, he had mentioned that that happens on all of them. It's just the way it is. It's not that smooth, unfortunately. I've noticed that it is a little bit louder than other side-by-sides I've been in. In fact, I was just in some 2022 Polarises recently, and they are noticeably more quiet than this side-by-side is. It's not overly loud by any means. It's just a little bit louder than other side-by-sides. The turning radius on it, it does not have the greatest turning radius either. but it's still, I mean, you could K-turn like driving a car, unfortunately, but it's not that huge of a deal. So all those things wrapped up in the side-by-side are not enough to make me not like it or not want it anymore. I actually still enjoy it. I still think it's perfect for what I'm doing. The price point was good, and I didn't want one of those giant 6-seater buggies for $25,000. I wanted something that was a little bit moderate, would fit better on smaller trails, and had the dump body in the back, the towing capability, and of course my biggest thing is having the winch on it, because I tend to need a winch quite a bit. So that being said, that's everything I want to tell you about this side-by-side that you should know, I think, before you go and purchase it. Again, if you want to see all the specs on the engine, the shocks, the travel, the ground clearance, the tire size, go to CF Moto's website. All those specs are listed on there. I don't have them off the top of my head. Just know that I've been having a good time with this thing. So let's fire it up. Let's take it for a spin. Let's see what it can do. It's a great time. So as you can see, the thing is works as advertised, I should say. I'm having a blast with it. In fact, I'm gonna go and have some more fun with it. So thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel, help me grow a little bit, and get some other videos that I've got out. Mostly are hunting and fishing, but I decided to do a video of this since I bought it. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. And like I tell everybody, I wish you nothing but tight lines and short blood trails.